Hi there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Capricorn energy. Okay, we had some cards flip in the deck, so let's get those out. Wow, how many is it? It's kind of a lot. So, when all these cards are flipped and hiding themselves, I kind of can view it that people could be trying to hide things and that other people could be going out in the world, and we can all know people in the world, right? And we don't really know, and we're trying to get to know them. The only card showing itself is the Two of Wands, which is Aries energy, which is our fire sign energy. And it can be that we have a dream. I usually view this card as the overarching reason for the reading, which is the Five of Swords. Maybe right now, people, in Capricorn energy can be about what we want to manifest, what we think would be victorious and successful in our own opinion. And some people have inner conflict about believing in their dreams. It causes a mental conflict. Some people's dream is they really do want to win at all costs, and it can be more about themselves because Aries energy is about the self. All of us in our Aries energy, we have to, kind of balance being more about ourself, and especially if we're going to work together with other people, that it can't be just more about us. And then hopefully if we learn lessons in life and we change and we learn lessons and look at life from a higher perspective, we become a good leader in our life and we can become a good leader in the world. But, some people are still more about themselves, and they could be in workplaces or relationships with people, and sometimes we're in more mismatched relationships where one person does high vibe energy, would be having more hope and faith and belief in love, inspired to change, because the fives talk about change, inspired to have hope and faith and belief in themselves and in their dreams and in love. And other people could be hiding that that's not their truth. They are maybe more about themselves, more about the world, more about ego, more about image. Whenever we get to the end of this story, this is the outcome. And it can be that, we're in relationships with different people, and it is trying to navigate and figure out who is more on the same page as me and who isn't. And it's our fire sign, kind of, you could look at it being our fire sign energy, which is maybe our more creative, inspired, intuitive nature to navigate in this world, to kind of pick up on the subtle cues about who does seem to be more about themselves or egotistical or self-centered or ego-focused, and who are the people who have changed, who have grown, who have healed, or who are more motivated by love. And the outcome will be which also can just be things that people don't see coming, is the world. And the world is kind of, are we willing to close out ways of looking at life, viewing at life, being more about ourselves, being more about the world, to close out an old phase of life where maybe we hide a lot about who we are from other people. If we feel like a lot of people in our life are kind of hiding their truth, why? Why do they hide their truth? Because also the Five of Swords comes after the Two and the Three and the Four of Swords. I feel stuck. I've been hurt. I've learned lessons in life. I've meditated on the truth of it. We're either taking action more out of, I don't want to see the truth, I don't want to change, I don't want to look at life from a higher perspective. I have an idea. I am not going to learn lessons in life. I am going to repeat some old patterns because I think I'm the boss. and I don't have to change, and I don't have to look at life from a higher perspective, and I don't have to heal. And other people are the opposite. And sometimes we're dealing with people and we don't realize that some of the people, again, they could be in our workplace, they could be in our family, they could be in our neighborhood, they could be people we're dating or thinking of dating. Well, the more shadowy people are trying to figure out if you do have mental conflict and you are more about the world because they have mental conflict and they're more about the world, they want to probably be in a relationship with people who are in that same energy. And more high vibe people are, you seem like someone who maybe doesn't have mental conflict, that you're not more about the world. You seem to be someone who has learned some lessons in life. And I feel I have too. And so those kind of people are looking for people who they think are more on the same page as them. The card that starts us out is the Temperance card. Sometimes people, I know maybe what we should do is maybe flip over all the cards and just kind of read it from what some high vibe people are doing and what some more worldly shadowy people are doing. But the whole thing is, with Temperance, we all had a dream, right? And there was probably some people we were in relationship with, and the Five of Swords being Aquarius energy, also represented by the Star card, we had a dream. We had a plan. We thought we were in maybe the 2, the 3, and the 4, our Libra energy. Some of you could have been dealing with a Libra, but we were in relationships with people where we did kind of think we had the same dream. And we thought, we had the same dream. And we thought we probably had the same truth, and we were kind of motivated and inspired by these same goals and dreams and things. But we all have the free will to, while we're in relationships, to balance out. The Temperance card is also fire sign energy, and typically, let's see what this one shows. Sometimes it shows like this is a cup of fire and that's a cup of love, and we kind of have to balance out the fact that I have all these things I want to go do in the world, but I'm in a relationship with someone. So, when I'm working together with other people, again, it can't just be about me and my wants and my needs and my pride, my ego, and my lust and my greed. I'm dealing with, and my dream, I'm working with someone else who also has their own dream. And sometimes we can, Temperance is Sagittarius energy, which is about higher learning and education. Sometimes we all had some lessons to learn, right? Some people weren't willing to balance out their emotions. Some people aren't very patient. Some people aren't motivated and inspired to learn lessons, right? And sometimes if there's some people that are shadowy energy, especially like with Aries and Aquarius, can be a little bossy and controlling, a little bit more about themselves, which anyone can harness. That they keep thinking other people will just keep balancing out their emotions about the fact that some people do think it should be kind of more about them or their way or the highway. And other people kind of lose patience. And they're not willing to be in a relationship with them anymore. And then there could be other people in our life, and we could have lost patience with some people too, right? It can go both ways. And there could be some people that we would like to balance things out with, that we still have some mental conflict about because we did view them as a just and fair person, that we kind of had similar dreams, but maybe at some point in our life, again, whether those are our adult children, our siblings, our parents, or friends, or romantic interests, with some of those people, for some reason or another, there was some conflict, and it could have just been that we kind of had different dreams and kind of what drove and motivated us at that time. I kind of it could even be people wanting to move away and another person didn't want to move away. Someone did move away. You didn't have an opportunity to balance things out. But with some people will do this work within themselves to try to balance out their strong emotions about the fact that some relationships in their life didn't move forward the way they wish they would have. And there is other people who ignore it. You know, you either try to wrap your Sagittarius being about higher learning and education, you either do try to wrap your brain around these things, but you have to be inspired to even try to want to wrap your brain around it. We are emotionally complex human beings. We can have a lot of conflicting thoughts and feelings towards people. And it's difficult, right? And some people can always choose, it didn't work out, it didn't work out. I'm not even going to think about it. You know, people can want to stay in denial of just dealing with their own inner conflict. And they could do other things to think, I just need to move on. I just need to go do this, or I'll go indulge in that. And I'm sure it'll all just magically kind of go away. But you can ignore things, but it doesn't make them just magically go away, right? You still have some of the inner conflict. Some people did try to control people that were more balanced and maybe a little more high vibrational, because the Temperance card is a major arcana card and the 2 wands and the 5 of swords aren't. And maybe some people who were had learned some more lessons in life, and some people didn't know that. Because it wasn't showing itself, and they kind of thought, oh, you're like other people I know, and I can kind of be bossy and controlling with you or manipulative with you. And yeah, that didn't work. And some of those people right now could be trying to figure out why it didn't work. That always works. Usually when I act like that and I take this certain type of action with people, I can manipulate them, because you're either working together with people cooperatively, kind of being authentic and loving and encouraging to work together on a common goal, or you might try to present yourself as that type of person, but really you're trying to manipulate someone for your own more selfish reasons, right? Then we have the 2 of Cups. Some people are just trying to balance out their emotions, that maybe some people aren't in their world anymore, you know? And their dream can't come into reality with those people because they just don't live by them, or maybe, you know, they passed on or something like that. And that's challenging, and people can still have mental conflict and inner conflict that they're dealing with because of that, and even struggling to feel more balance within themselves. You know, we're these emotionally complex human beings, and it can take a long time to heal and be ready to move forward in life differently when some relationships aren't in our life anymore or didn't work out the way we thought. Some people the 2 of Cups is Cancer energy. Some people could have been dealing with cancer. Some people, the 2 of Cups can just represent people who you aligned with, people that you love, people who you felt were more on the same page as you. So then, in the middle row, we have the Knight of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the 10 of Cups. You know, we're trying to balance out our emotions about things that happened in our past so that we can move on from the past. Kind of let go of that old dream, because we want to have a new beginning, or other people did already offer us a new beginning. And we want to be in relationships with other people, is what the 10 of Pentacles can be. We want to feel more stable and secure within us, and maybe when something didn't work out the way we had wanted, it kind of threw us into feeling more conflicted within ourselves than we did when we had been in that previous type relationship or job and moving into a new relationship or job. And then some people could be right now trying to figure out, you know, we can always have, again, the Two of Wands can kind of represent our dualistic nature. And we have different opportunities of people to invest our time, energy, and effort into, right? Do I have people in my life right now that I've been maybe patient with, that I could have, we can always have love for people, but do we really think that they're aligned with our truth? That it's, I think this is the person I want to be in a more long-term relationship with. You could look at it, even if it's a job, how some people could be getting out of college or something, and it's scary to decide who you're going to kind of make that commitment to. And the same thing happens in relationships. There are consequences to our choices. So some people could really be trying to figure out and get clear and want to get clear. Maybe, to love themselves, to believe in their dreams, to get feeling more stable and grounded within themselves, might want to reach out to different people to figure out what their truth is and what kind of foundation they operate from. What are your dreams? What are your goals? What lessons have you learned in life? What kind of drives and motivates you? I might know some people in my life that I could move forward with in a relationship, but I'm not sure if their truth is the same as my truth. I am feeling some mental conflict maybe about it. Can I have love for them? Could I wish them the best? Yes. Could they even love me? Yes. Would it have maybe the stability and the security and the things of the world that we all can kind of dream of? Yes. But if I still have mental conflict about it, am I going to do this work within myself, or am I kind of more, some people are leaving behind people they love, because the shadowy Five of Swords can be, again, people want to win at all costs, and it's really, and shadowy Aries that anyone can harness, is that it really is more just about them. And if they kind of are more about themselves and their ego and their image and their status, and in their Capricorn energy, what I view as victorious is that I have to look like a shining star and I don't care how I get there, just so I have it. And if there's people that are willing to be in a relationship with me and stay in a relationship with me, and either because I have those things, and the most important thing is that someone kind of indulges me in my illusions of myself, and this person seems to be bought into the illusion of who I am, maybe willing to indulge me in my poor behavior, then some of those people probably could care less, and they're trying to hide from people that it is all an illusion and they are all about themselves, because they want the people that they're in a relationship with to keep buying into the illusion about who they are, which kind of is like they are this good leader, that they are more emotionally balanced, that they are this loving, stable, insightful person. I'm not selfish. I'm not greedy. I'm not materialistic or self-centered or all about myself. And eventually, at some future point in time, those people will probably find out the truth that they really are. But anybody can try to create an illusion, and I view Capricorn energy in the tarot deck as King of Pentacles. And that can be male or female, because the kings can represent how we present ourselves in the world. The feminine figures represent how we really think and feel. So whether people are male or female, they can go out there in the world presenting themselves. You should hire me. You should want to be my friend. You should want to date me. You should want to marry me. Or you should keep dating me. You should keep being married to me. And they create this illusion that they're really putting this work and effort maybe into the relationship they're in, trying to give the impression that they're building a foundation with people based on truth and love, but that really isn't the truth. If someone had more money, more status, more image, more willing to indulge them in their ego, they're just right now kind of tempering that they really align with being more about themselves, that they're just creating an illusion, that they really are more emotionally invested in the world and ego and image. But until someone who seems to be the type of person that they think they could manipulate or indulge to get in a relationship with them, to have those things, they will, temper that aspect within themselves so that the people they're in a relationship don't know it. But if they're moving forward with people that are more balanced, are more authentic, are more loving, and they're trying to present themselves as being that type of person, it causes them a lot of inner conflict because that's not their truth. And that is not the foundation they operate from. Let's go see this row. The Knight of Pentacles, the Virgo Hermit, and the Ten of Wands. Everybody likes to live their authentic life. And if you're having to move forward in a relationship or a job, anything, oh yeah, no, I love this. Oh no, yes, I do. I want to invest my time and energy into this and you in this job or this way of living life. When it's not really your truth, it can feel really overwhelming. And the Ten of Wands is Sagittarius energy also. We're all inspired to want to live our life the way we want to live it. And we have the free will to live our life the way we want to live it. They're just consequences to the decisions we make. Some people are, we'd assume if people are more prideful, egotistical, selfish, all about themselves or whatever, that shadowy Sagittarius, which is our more immature nature. We have a lot of lessons to learn yet. But some people think, I have an idea. I am more immature. I could be more overwhelmed. I could have a lot of mental conflict. I could just have a lot of fears and insecurities that I don't deal with, that I hide from the world. And I don't want people to know that I'm really insecure or I'm really defensive or I'm really kind of take impulsive and reckless action in relationships and I'm really tempted to do it because they basically are tipped out of balance and they haven't offered maybe love to themselves to work through their own mental conflict. They could just be really codependent, some people. And so it's always when you're a more codependent energy because you haven't learned to love yourself, which we've all been there. We have a lot of mental conflict of believing in ourselves and believing in our dreams and loving ourselves. So we're always looking outside of ourselves to other people for them to comfort us, to make us feel more balanced, to love us, to validate our worth and value. And that is more shadowy Virgo energy that anyone can harness. And I say that because I don't want people to get kind of caught up in the sun signs. All the different sun signs of the world could deal with their own unique challenges in the world because they're a water sign, or they're an earth sign, or they're an air sign, or they're a fire sign, But we all have our heart and our mind and our creative, passionate, inspired nature and our more immature nature and our worldly nature. We all kind of deal with these things to some degree, and some people learn these lessons because that's high vibe Aries and high vibe Virgo. That you learn to offer love to yourself, to be a loving, compassionate, forgiving person to yourself. Hopefully then also to others, that I'm a fallible human being who makes mistakes. I've been more immature and caught up in illusions of the world and had my mental conflict. And I've been more codependent and insecure, or maybe bossy or controlling, full of myself. And so is everybody else. And I don't want any of those things to keep manipulating me. And the only person I can change is me. So somewhere along the road of life, I decided to offer love to myself, to look at life from a higher perspective, put things in perspective. Oh, everybody goes through this battle within themselves. Some people were inspired to do the inner work. Because Virgo energy is, am I willing to look at those things I keep hidden in the dark that affect the decisions I might take in my life, and my fears and my insecurities and my lust and my greed and my codependent energy? Am I willing to kind of bring those things out into the light just within myself? Virgo energy is about taking this time alone. It's like, let's see, it's like bringing something out, and it's fear. It's like, why do I have this fear? Where did this fear come from? Is this all my own fear? Did other people instill this fear in me? And then it's like, I have a knife here. I have this idea about life. Where did I get this idea about life? I seem to think it's true. Is it true? And that kind of reminds me of this lady who was married, had some kids. She was like feeling like she was really angry, and her family was really unhappy with her. She was miserable, and she kind of went somewhere to get some help, and she kind of had a breakthrough on her own, and now she kind of travels the world and helps other people and has written books on it. But her name is Byron Katie, Byron is her first name, Katie. And you could download her PDFs of her book online. You can watch some of her excerpts. But one of her big things, and it could have been the name of one of her books, was called, or the philosophy that she came up with, is it true? Is it really true? And so it was this thing that she started to use with herself of, I have all these different thoughts, and that's a knife can kind of, and a sword kind of represents thoughts. We are so much what we think. I think I'm not good enough. I think I deserve to be indulged. I think that everybody's hurtful and unkind. I think everybody else loves themselves more than I love myself. Blah, blah. Our thoughts kind of make up our reality, and it affects how we move forward in the world and how we feel about ourselves and all the things that can overwhelm us. So anyway, it was this thing about asking yourself these 4 questions. I have this idea, this truth that I tell myself that I think is true. And so you ask yourself, is it true? And then because, of course, we kind of think it's true, we would say it's true. So then the second question, really? Is it really true? Do you know that for sure? You're sure those people hate you. You're sure you're a loser. You're sure, really? Can you be sure it's true? Is there a possibility? Because for us to learn lessons in life, and that's what Virgo is about, and how we change our life, is to be willing to deal with the truth. And Virgo's about dealing with the truth. But we have to be willing to kind of get out of our mental conflict and our ego that we're so smart that of course it's true. I wouldn't think it if it wasn't true. If I didn't think it made logical, practical sense. So, is it true? Come on, is it really true? And then the third one is, how does it make you feel when you think that thought? How differently would you feel if you didn't think that thought? Like, what, just what if that thought isn't true? How differently would your life be? How differently would you move forward in life? How you would act with other people? And, same way, we can know some people that we know have a lot of mental conflict. We know that they could have a lot of things that overwhelm them within themselves. They could have, the world can overwhelm us. The world tells us you got to look this way and dress this way and have this much image or status for us to deem you as valuable. Well, in your high vibe energy, you can say, fuck off, world. That's not my truth. You can try to tell me all day that's my truth and that I don't have worth and value if I don't look a certain way or dress a certain way or have a certain amount of money or hang out with those people versus these people. How about, you know what? I got one life to live, and I'm going to work through all my own fears and insecurities so that I don't let the world bother and manipulate me, and other people in the world manipulate me with their ideas of what they think is living a dream life. I have my own ideas. High vibe energy is being independent. You can all go make your life about those things and kind of on the spinning wheel, on in the rat race, caught up in it if you want. That's not my truth. That's not what I think is important. And I'm inspired from the 2 to the 10 in the 8 of Wands, which is Sagittarius energy, to do all this work within myself, to wrap my brain around this game of life so that I can move on and leave that behind me. And the people who want to make their life more about, oh, I'm just going to balance out my emotions and I have a dream, but, you know, the people I might be in a relationship with, or the job that I'm in, or the friends that I'm in a relationship with, or the way I just live my life isn't really in alignment with my dream, but I have a lot of mental conflict of being more independent and living my more authentic life. That seems overwhelming. So I keep trying to love and encourage other people to kind of get on the same page as me. But while we're spending our time trying to get other people to get on the same page as us, we could just deal with the truth. And the truth is, it's kind of more about high vibe Sagittarius is going on this adventure in life to go find the people who are more on the same page as us and wish other people peace and love. But as I've gotten to know you, I could kind of realize that your truth is different than my truth. What you love and want to go invest your time, energy, and effort into is different than what I love and want to go invest my time and energy and effort into. And the Knight of Pentacles puts work and effort to become the King of Pentacles they want to be. And if you're someone, I view high vibe Capricorn, King of Pentacles, as people who aren't more aligned with their worldly shadowy energy, because shadowy Capricorn is represented by the devil. And within all of us, we can align with our more shadowy, worldly, immature nature, or we can do this work to learn lessons in life, to grow and heal and mature ourselves, to really be who we say we are in the world. I am an emotionally mature, stable, grounded, balanced, nurturing, loving person. I'm not just creating an illusion of being that by how I look or how I dress or the job that I have or whatever. You know, I really am who I say I am. And we're in relationships with people that they want to go more this way, aligned with their being more about the world, and other people, it's like, you know, we all want stability and security. We all want to enjoy some of the finer things in life. It's just that some people, those things of the world, they're more tipped in favor of it, and that's what's the most important, kind of the driving factor. Either, again, about themselves, or if they make their life about indulging in certain things, or having a certain amount of money, or indulging in certain types of relationships, or quantity of relationships, or whatever, that's like, look at me, I'm living the dream. And that, for some reason, is some type of truth that they somehow got in their head somewhere along the way in life. And they're probably going to keep moving forward in life like that, because secretly, kind of, that's what drives and motivates them and the decisions that they make in their life. Could they get themselves in relationships where they feel really overwhelmed? Well, that's the price you got to pay. If you want those certain things of the world, you got to sacrifice. There is always a cost. Something has to be let go of. We have free will. We have to make decisions. And that's what some people are trying to balance out their emotions about right now. I let go of believing in myself and believing in my dreams and love. And I got caught up in the illusion. And there's either these things I really want to indulge in, or it's money and materialism, or being more about myself, that I think is the best bet, that I'll be happy. Because then I'll be safe. I won't be in a relationship based on love. I get hurt doing love. If I have people who want to be in a relationship with me and I'm hiding that I'm either kind of indulging them, or I'm just in it more for the status or the ego or the image, at least I won't get hurt by love, because I don't even love those people. And if I make my life about that, even if I get in relationships with loving people, I'm overwhelmed the whole time and I'm fearful because I don't really want to let myself love them because that puts me in the danger zone. And if it starts to get where it's like, oh shit, I'm starting to think that I do really want to invest in the loving people in my life. And I really haven't worked through all these things that cause me fear about moving forward in life that way. Then it causes them a lot of mental conflict. And then they start to think about, maybe I'd be okay just letting this, what is our fear? Some people have a tremendous fear of more authentically investing their more, because high vibe Virgo would be more like our authentic self. Authentically investing ourself in a relationship, for some people, that is terrifying. And, for those people of you that are more of a loving, nurturing person, it's kind of really hard to relate to because, like, I don't get it. Life is all about love. Why wouldn't we? Why would, that's what makes it all worthwhile. But some people, either because of their life experiences, maybe they had people in their life at one time who used love that they had for them to manipulate them, and they could have decided your loving nature makes you a sucker, and uh, the I'm going to be curious about when the cards come out. Well, the World card and like the Judgment card, well, maybe not the World card. The World card, I think, is it Capricorn and Aquarius? We have to get out of our more worldly view of life and defensive view of life, and which can be our egoic view of life, to be willing to learn lessons in life and just face our fears, just even about stepping out of our comfort zone and moving forward in life differently. And I think maybe there could be some people right now in their Capricorn energy, the people that are more immature or more shadowy, worldly focused, could be hiding that they're overwhelmed, that they could be even putting in a lot of work and effort to try to indulge someone, trying to get that person to move forward in a relationship, maybe trying to get someone to make them an offer, because the King and Queen of Pentacles is the only married suits of the deck, and really trying to get someone to do that, or really wanting to be in a relationship because they're more overwhelmed and they think it'll make them feel more grounded or stable. Some other people are just trying to maybe decide, because they have some mental conflict, and at any given moment in life, we're heading in a certain direction, and we have to think about, is this my truth? Why am I doing this? I might have gotten it in. We can all get into situations for one reason, but then as time goes by, things can change, and then the reason we might stay might be a different reason, right? And we all kind of like to stay in our comfort zone, and we all like things that we've invested in to work out the way we want. So, and sometimes we got in relationships and we didn't know, we kind of harnessed a lot of these energies differently. Everybody could have thought, well, everybody has a more worldly view of life. I don't deal with my shit. I don't assume other people are going to deal with their stuff either. Isn't everybody just balancing out their emotions and kind of getting in relationships with people that they could like or kind of attracted to more for these things of the world and the stability and the security? And that can be kind of living more from your mind than your heart. And it's kind of like we should be logical and practical. And then it's more of a more worldly view of life. We should be practical. You do have to kind of be balanced. We can love people, and some of the loving people in the world that really kind of let their heart run their life have also learned, I need to be more balanced and grounded within myself, because in my loving nature, I can indulge people in their poor behavior because, I love them. And they need to learn that lesson and stay more balanced within themselves, that I can be a loving person, but if I see that other people are kind of more out of balance, I need to, they stay as a friend and an acquaintance, and I keep moving forward until they might do this work within themselves to work through some of the things that kind of maybe tip them out of balance, because I am done kind of indulging people in their poor behavior at my expense. And some people who might be a little more motivated by money or the things of the world, sometimes that can be more of a driving factor in their life. And same way, like staying at a job that it pays better, but I don't like these people, and I would like to be happy going to work every day. I'd like to work with more stable, balanced people. And maybe I'm working with some people that are quite stubborn and inflexible and egotistical, and it's kind of miserable to go to work every day, and the same way with our relationships. We want to work with people that we feel, and sometimes we have to be willing to sacrifice something else to trying to kind of find. You could look at the Ten of Pentacles, that we all kind of have the mix. The pentacles can represent these different truths and kind of which ones have more weight and precedent in our life versus other ones. And we have maybe a certain mix that makes us feel kind of okay. And we're kind of looking for other people who are kind of that same mix and priority and importance of kind of what drives and motivates them. And it's not easy. It's just like, you can know all sorts of people, but there were certain people that became more of a close friend or a best friend. And some people are like trying to force relationships just by hanging around someone or whatever. You can try to use your emotions, you can try to use your sexuality, you can try to use your assets, you can try to use your resources, your words, your charm, your patience, your whatever. You can use all these things in a relationship to try to get the end goal that you want, but it's really challenging if it just doesn't flow naturally. And that's also what some people don't get. They kind of think it is like a math formula. Oh, I act like this and I talk like this and I respond like that. And I've watched people in the world who maybe are more genuinely, authentically loving and warm and giving and nurturing. And then the Five of Swords can be where it's kind of like a mental construct. That is how I can get what those people have. I will create an illusion, like take what I've learned, those little bits and pieces I've learned from everybody, all these swords I've kind of collected, all these things I've learned from other people. And that's where some people can wear a really good false mask. Because they've kind of watched and observed and gotten in relationships with different people, but they could kind of be more like a social climber. I want to have this abundance that other people have in the world, but sometimes that abundance that people have in the world is because they're more aligned with their creative, inspired energy, because we all thrive and grow best in the energy of love. So some shadowy people think, oh, I just need to go get me a loving person, and that will be the answer to me feeling better, which of course they might feel better being around loving and encouraging people, but they also feel overwhelmed because it's kind of like they're in a job that they're not qualified for. And they're trying to present themselves as being something that they're not. And some people just think, isn't that what people do? Isn't that what other people do? Because that's what they do. They think that's what other people do. It's like, no, other people kind of got over themselves. And it isn't trying to manipulate and control everyone because you think you're so smart. Some people actually offer love to people and have offered love to themselves to get out of thinking it should, even just viewing life that way. But I guess for people who might view life that way, they can't even maybe conceive of people, what? You authentically, don't even understand that other people aren't just trying to manipulate and control people kind of for their own selfishness, And they just don't get it and they can't even relate. But some high vibe people are balancing out their emotions. There could be people they would like to have in their life. But if those people aren't, they've probably offered them, and the wands can be about communication. They could have already offered people truth and love. And some of those people are currently people moving forward with them in their life. And other people they meet are kind of, it's the flow of life. We meet people, we treat other people the way we like to be treated. We're authentic and encouraging and supportive of people, and they move forward with us. And then there's other people that we wish would move forward with us, but some of those people aren't. Some people are a little bit, if you haven't offered your truth and love and clarity to people, some people keep thinking like shadowy Sagittarius is like people chasing you. And some people are like, well, I'm not sure, and I still have mental conflict. Well, so they keep moving forward in what they're moving forward with in their life. And then they kind of keep wondering if those other people will chase after them. And some of those people they'd like to balance things out with, but I'm already involved in this. Aren't you kind of more overwhelmed or fearful or really want to be in a relationship with me, that you're going to keep chasing after me? And I've been waiting for you to keep, still wanting to invest in me while I keep not knowing what I want to do. And the other high vibe people are like, I spoke my truth in love, and then I've moved on. And they're like, oh, but I thought you wanted to be in a relationship with me. I maybe did, but then you weren't willing to invest in it. You had mental conflict, or you're already invested, or make other people, your friend group or your original family group or someone else you're in a relationship with, the priority in your life, and you have mental conflict of becoming independent of it, because Virgo is about becoming independent. So I saw the truth of it, and I accepted the truth of it, and I kind of picked up my sticks and I'm moving on. If you're, and that's what some people don't get either. Well, but if I'm already, because say some people reached out to someone, they had a dream. They don't know what's going on in people's lives. So they reach out to people to discover the truth. What's going on with you? And they're like, oh, I'm moving on in something. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you had gotten in a different relationship and that you're moving on. Well, that person could have been hiding that they're kind of overwhelmed in that relationship. And, maybe that could be a little bit about ego, want to create a certain illusion of how wonderful my life is. It's like, oh, okay. But they could have actually dreamed of wanting to balance out a relationship with that person. And as they're moving forward with other people, they could be hiding that they'd really kind of like to go get in a relationship with someone else. And they have this mental conflict, and they got to do all this work. In the meantime, other people are moving on in their life. Unless you're the one who someone reached out to, and now it's causing you the mental conflict. I am so glad that right now I'm just one of the people moving on, because if you were in one of those situations, it's really difficult. What I think high vibe people do in those situations, I do want to act with character and integrity. I do want, and probably have love for it, the people I'm in a relationship with. Could we have differences of opinion, that we need to work through? High vibe people would offer love to the people that they're currently in a relationship with, just like you would at a job to try to make it work. And you maybe do the work within yourself to feel proud of yourself, that you know that you are putting in the work and effort to make something move forward victoriously and successfully, to bring a dream into reality. And if the other people that you're in relationship with are willing to keep moving forward with you in that way and willing to put in that work and effort, then people aren't willing to get out of those relationships because the people they're putting it work, if they're dealing with the truth of it. Now, some people, when they do that work and effort within themselves, the other people in their life are like, what are you doing? Why aren't you just coming along and moving forward with me in this relationship the way you were? Something has changed. You seem to either not, because sometimes we can get in relationships and we are both trying to balance out our emotions. We want these things in the world. We want to manifest these things in the world. We have a dream. We get in a relationship. Maybe over time we kind of realize we kind of got some different dreams, how we want to move forward. And if one person does this work within themselves, the other person doesn't like it because they've changed. I wanted you to keep moving forward, being motivated and inspired, or being overwhelmed, or putting a lot of work and effort into this like you used to. But now you might seem to be, instead of one person seeming to be overwhelmed or putting in more of the work and effort to move a relationship forward, kind of more motivated and inspired by love, and the other person maybe got to focus more on themselves or their career, it's kind of like, well, I do want to move forward in this relationship, but I also want a more just and fair and stable and balanced relationship. And I could have just been out of balance before. And now I'm putting in a lot of work and effort, or maybe I wasn't putting in a lot of work and effort, because I really do want this to work out, but I have more hope and faith and belief and love in myself than I maybe did before. And I really want to bring that into the relationship. And that's when other people too can be like, what? That isn't how you were before. And it's like somewhere along the way, you have either changed for the better or the worse. And regardless of how people change, some other people don't like it because if they haven't changed, you're different. You look at life differently. And that's when everybody has to do this work to figure out, do I want to keep moving forward with you or not? And people right now could be doing that work within themselves to figure out how they want to keep moving forward in the world. Is it with the people they're with? Is it with the people they're not with? Is it with people that they just want to move forward in life differently? Because there's some mental conflict about a truth that is hidden. And it could be about what drives and motivates people to be in it. Well, but I want to be in a relationship. Well, that's not good enough. Just wanting to be in a relationship with me, that's not good enough. Well, because of the stability or security. No, don't like that answer. Well, because we had children or we want to have children. It should be because of the truth. It should be because of love. Do you love me? Well, I'm attracted to you. I want to stay in it. I'm willing to have sex with you. I'm willing to indulge you. And then for some people, enough is never enough. If they are more shadowy, it gets worse and worse over time. And it gets to be where people, I just can't keep indulging you in your shadowy ways of being. Whatever it is of the reasons why I want to stay in it is not enough. You can go and you can go find someone else to indulge you in your poor behavior because I've given it everything I've got, hoping one day you would change and you would get more balance. But again, you're going one direction, they're going the other. And it's like, I'm not going to keep doing this anymore. And while people are thinking about this, there's some people in their life who don't realize that they are doing this work within themselves to close out a cycle and to end certain jobs, friendships, or relationships in their life, or living life a certain way. It could just be maybe people were indulging in certain ways of partying or whatever in their life, and they've been doing this inner work, and it's like, it used to be fun, but as time has gone by, it's become overwhelming, and I'm kind of thinking I'm just not going to live my life like that anymore. And then some of the people in their life will be like, wow, when did you do this work within yourself? Like, what? You're going to start exercising every day? Or what? You're going to quit drinking? Or what? You're going to, become like a motocross bicycle rider in some other state? What the hell? You know, what's coming up for people who harness some high vibe Capricorn energy that they might not see coming? The Queen of Pentacles. Why? Because of the Three of Pentacles. Well, I think as high vibe people do this work within themselves and to maybe even emotionally kind of detach from an old dream to invest in a new dream. And the tens can talk about, again, closing out a cycle. That some of the people that I at one time had been in a relationship with, they're not in my life anymore. And they could have their back turned to me. I've offered love to it to let them live their life the way they want to live it. Or to offer myself love to keep believing in myself and believing in my dreams. And I'm going to keep moving forward. There's certain ways of living life and viewing life, and people I've known in my life that have certain ways of viewing life and living life. I don't want to live my life like that. That's not my truth. And I want to close out that old cycle and living life that way, or hanging out with those kind of people or whatever, or living my life that way. And there could be, well, some people are doing this work. Again, there's some people in the world that have no idea that you're doing all this work within yourself. Because it is inner work that you're doing. And because you're doing that work within yourself, and the Three of Pentacles is Capricorn energy, you are freeing yourself from all of some things that caused you mental conflict, or people in your life that caused you mental conflict, or people that wanted to win at all costs, people who were bossy or controlling or manipulative. It's like, you do you, but you're going to have to do it with someone else, because in High Vibe Capricorn, I freed myself. The truth set me free. And then I view the Queen of Pentacles. Again, the queens can talk about how we think and feel. I've learned to emotionally invest in offering love to myself and my foundation of self and my past, to wish it all peace and love to everyone. You do you. I have figured out who I kind of do like to invest more of my time and energy of you, and which ones I really don't. And during this process, it forced me to learn to love and believe in myself. And the Queen of Pentacles can be like, you are a good, like, mother, father, coach voice to yourself. Giving yourself the things that you wish other people would have given you, maybe just to get you out of more codependent energy, or trying to get the world to validate your worth and value or view you a certain way. It's like, I believe that you're going to view me based on the type of person you are. So I have the idea that if I love and believe in myself, and I keep things in perspective, and I go out in the world and I treat other people the way I like to be treated, and I treat people in a just and fair and balanced and authentic and loving way, not being in my ego where it has to be all about me and not getting in my ego, I think there's going to be people in the world that are going to want to work with me being in that energy. And there will be certainly people in the world who will turn their back on you, because you live your life differently than they live their life. They like to present themselves as being that way, but you're like the real deal. Well, they don't like to be with people who kind of highlight and illuminate that they're not who they say they are, just by you being you. You're more just and fair. You're more stable and grounded. You might walk the talk. You just are more authentic and loving, and they like to present themselves that way, but that's not who they really are. And then it causes them mental conflict to be around people who really did the work within themselves to really be that type of person, who isn't just creating an illusion like they are. They would rather hang around people like themselves who just create the illusion that they are that type of person. Oh, I'm not, that I've emotionally grown and matured myself, when they really haven't. And it's really more about them, or them trying to be the center of attention, or them having a certain status or ego and image in the world, or it just being more about them. And it kind of, when you just live your more authentic life and don't get in your ego about it, I'm going to let people live their life the way they want to live it. I'm not going to try to change people. I'm not going to make people try to like me. If I offer people truth and love and justice and treat them the way I like to be treated, if that isn't a good enough foundation for you to want to work with me, then I'm okay with that. And I'm picking up all my sticks, being creative and inspired, or spending more time and energy with you. No, I'm okay with it. I'm going to move on. And if I think you're trying to create an illusion, if you're trying to tempt me in my more worldly nature, immature nature, lustful nature, prideful nature, competitive nature, I don't want to be in relationships with people who are like that. And I think there's other people who see the truth of that and that are going to want to work together with you. And some of those people are thinking about it right now. And then there's other people who are like, oh, I know I don't want to invest in them. I already maybe tried, and I tried to manipulate them or control them, and it didn't work. And they know the truth about me, so I can't go be in a relationship with them again. I don't think I could fake having learned all those lessons because I don't even get it. So the Queen of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles can be new jobs, new friendships, new ways of moving forward in life, being ready to go out there and maybe get in a new job, friendship, or relationship because you've done this work within yourself and you're closing out a new old chapter and having a new beginning. And the other people who aren't doing that same work as you, those people, we keep repeating an old pattern until we're willing to deal with the truth. Some people try to create the illusion. Oh no, I deserve, it's like trying to, a video game of the game of life, just like Donkey Kong or any of those video games back in the day, where you have to accomplish all the challenges on the one level to go to the next level. Can you probably try to sneak up there, but you didn't learn the skills that you needed to learn on the level before, that you try to fake your way on the next level and you keep falling through the holes because you don't have the knowledge and the skill. Just like some people try to apply for a job they're not qualified for. And some people like to do that because they like to try to get in relationships with people who seem, again, more nurturing, more loving, more balanced, more stable, more victorious or successful in some way. Because then it makes them look like they've done that work within themselves, or you wouldn't be in a relationship with them. But you can get in a relationship with people, and it can take a long time sometimes to realize that they're not who they said they were. But then when you do see the truth, you move on. And then those people have a lot of mental conflict because they maybe were bossy, were immature, were controlling, or something, that you realize they weren't who they said they were. And then out of their ego, they're just going to go try to repeat that pattern maybe with someone else. What's coming up for the more worldly, shadowy Capricorns that they don't see coming? The Seven of Pentacles reverse, the Seven of Swords in reverse, King of Pentacles, and the Sun in reverse. Why? Because of the Knight of Wands in reverse, which is Temperance energy again. We can all get in relationships with people, and people can be loving and encouraging and supportive people, putting in a lot of work to try to help other people love and believe in themselves. But until those people kind of pick up to take over that job within themselves, like, thank you for providing me a loving and encouraging and supportive environment for me to do this work within myself, for me to get motivated and inspired to move forward. Like, help me get the ball rolling. And now I'll start pushing my ball of life forward. And the ball of life, you're either moving forward, and it takes some work and effort, and maybe a little slight incline. But some people, they don't want to do that. It's like, well, no, I want you to do the work. I'll create the illusion I'm willing to work with you. But once it gets going, then I'm kind of more about myself and I want you to put in all the work. And then there's some people like, well, no, I always want you to be loving and encouraging to me. Like I'm a codependent child. And it's like, but if, again, what's that saying? Give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, and then he can feed himself, right? You're giving resources to people who are like, well, no, I don't want those. No, but I want to move forward with you. But you just do all that. But I'll create the illusion, that's shadowy Pisces. I'll create the illusion I'm on the same page as you initially. But then some people hide that once I get you in the job or in a more formal commitment, oh yeah, my job is done. I get to drop the burden. Now it's all on you. And there's some people in their life that what they don't see coming that have been playing that role in their life. I'm done. I am no longer going to invest in you. I no longer think my dream can come into reality with you. I no longer want to work here, date you, marry you, stay married to you. I no longer view you as a more high vibrational person in the Sun card. You lack motivation and inspiration within yourself. It maybe all was ego and pretense and using your looks or your money or your status or your words or your intellect or whatever to try to come across, and how you conduct yourself in the world to come across as that type of person, but that's not the truth of who you are. And I've seen the truth of it, and I see that I offer you love and encouragement and resources, and you keep like, well, I like that. You keep doing that, but I don't want to do that. I'm hiding. I don't want to do that. I want to just indulge in it, keeping moving forward just the way it is. And the other people are like, but I wasn't planning to do this forever. Just like you can have some adult children that want to be like more codependent, immature children. And it's like, you're a child now. Get out of the nest and fly. And I have my own life that I want to live and invest in. It's like, well, no, you're supposed to do all these things still for me. And like, I'm 12. It's like, you're not 12. And what will happen, because they're not willing to see the truth and work more cooperatively and put some work and effort in with some high vibe people, they're probably going to end up in relationships with people who are more on the same page as them, who also lack inspiration to invest in looking at life from a higher perspective, who also could be a little bit more about themselves and don't really put work and effort into facing their fears and shedding light on things that manipulate them. And it could just be a very maybe immature, codependent, egoic based codependent more relationship, or it really isn't going anywhere, but it's just to stay in a relationship more because of being in a relationship, just for how it makes, maybe provides them some stability and security or something. So there you go, Capricorn. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.